All right. Why don't we call our first witnesses? Howard Brown, who lives in Ward 8.
My name is Howard Brown, and I'm a youth advisory member for the DC Youth Advisory Council with the Executive Office of the Mayor, better known as DC YAC. It is our mission to provide meaningful opportunities for district youth to influence public policies and programs on specific legislation that impact youth and to make DC a better place for young people. I'd like to thank Janice Farabee for the work she's doing with young people. Councilmember Kwame Brown stated in a recent newsletter that with the proper education, training, and job skills, DC residents will have the tools they need to create better quality of life for themselves, their families, and continue to move our city in the right direction. And that's why I'm happy to be here today, to help city leaders like yourself create a better quality of life for DC residents. As a youth raised in Ward 8, an aspiring city council member and future candidate for mayor of the District of Columbia, I have some views on Councilmember Brown's priorities from a youth perspective that will help the city move in the right direction. But we must ask, what is the right direction? Let's talk about proper education. I believe that it's hard to properly educate a child without building self-esteem. That begins with the relationship and examples set by the parents and the teachers, creating a family atmosphere for the child to feel confident in and out of the classroom setting. Learning and understanding their values as a person is at the heart of all of this. Some children often feel hopeless because there's no reassurance of who they are. We must emphasize and instill hope, courage, and teach the children to embody these principles. They are part of the vitals of building a strong community. Teaching self-worth and hope should be just as important as teaching writing and arithmetic. I propose teachers should live, work, and play in the communities with the children that they teach. This would help create the family atmosphere and also allow the parents to teach and teachers and youth to have more interaction. Let's talk about training and job skills. I believe it's a very good idea to allocate $14 million to the Job Summer Program. However, as a youth entrepreneur, I've learned the value of investing. You see, once you spend it, it's gone. I propose we take the $14 million and invest the money and create and build viable self-sustaining businesses run by the youth. Furthermore, these businesses can be overseen by experienced adults in the community. The result? By investing the money, we create an opportunity for the youth to benefit from the investment over and over and over again. We'll be able to teach our youth real-life skills, values, and principles so they can be self-employed. Applicable skills like how to work with and respect others, how to communicate effectively, how to manage money, so that next year they won't have to come back to the city looking for a job from the city. The freedom to dream. Many of the DC youth are very talented. They just need an effective, challenging outlet to channel and focus their creative energies. Thank you.
Why don't you finish?
In conclusion, we talk about crime too much. We must put the emphasis on the positive energy in the community. I believe there's too much attention set on the negative. Emphasizing positive raises our awareness. It raises our spirits. When we talk about the negative, that's all the kids see and hear. And then we end up with more negative. We need to encourage positive resources in our community, like the Washington Informer, for example. It's a newspaper whose mission is to focus on positive events happening in the community. This way, we use the law of attraction to get what we want and need in our community. When we think positive solutions, we get positive results. As a part of a new initiative, DC YAC will be creating a calendar of excellence to highlight and acknowledge the positive achievements of our DC youth in an effort to continue motivating and encouraging our youth to be leaders for today and forever. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, you made some very impressive testimony this morning, and I want to thank you for your involvement with the Youth Advisory Council. You do have an excellent coordinator in Janice Farabee. She's very active, very energetic, very creative, and she works well with youth and with adults. So you're fortunate to have her working with you. You hit on a really important point among several that you made. You talked about the importance of self-esteem and self-worth. How do you think we can do better with that?
How do I think we can do better with self-esteem? Well, as I stated earlier, it starts with education system, building the family value by connecting the teachers with the parents, and having the students have access to see that example set. It's all about setting the leadership in the community. And esteem starts with giving its students an opportunity, the youth, people in general, an opportunity to feel good about themselves. Personally, as an African American, I had the opportunity to grow up reading books like The Miseducation of the Negro, like Before the Mayflower. And they teach you about the history and the culture, and not just slavery, but before slavery, before the civil rights. And they factor in how it's all important. Knowing who you are is a very, very key element in self-esteem. You see, we have crime in this city. And you look at it and you say, how can we do that to each other? How can we kill each other? It's because we don't know who we are. You know, if you know that our idea now, these days, bling bling, we wear chains. In Africa, we used to wear crowns made of gold and diamonds. You know, when you have that appreciation and you know where we came from and what we can accomplish, you know, you think you're invincible. So self-esteem is just a matter of, it's a state of mind. You know, if you feel confident in who you are, who your people are, who your history is, and, you know, we look at the issues, you look in Southeast, and not to denote any other cultures, but there's a lot of black people there. And there's a lot of miseducated black people. We don't know where we came from. We just see what we have in front of us. And that stems to how we promote ourselves and how we talk in the community, what we show in the news, what we show in the media. You know, it's negative, 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 and there's no emphasis on the infrastructure being positive. So the esteem comes from how we promote ourselves, how we encourage the youth, how we encourage our people to come out and speak on issues that mean something to them, to go out in the community and do something, to set examples, and to raise noise about the issues that are important.
What do you think, if you could have the opportunity to do 3 things in our schools that would help young people build self-esteem, what would be the 3 things you would want to do, Howard?
First, I would start with diversifying the history class, teaching a broader range of history. American history is very important, especially as Americans, but I feel that there are more than just American cultures in the schools. So teaching history that the kids can relate to as far as their culture goes, like that's one. I would definitely change, and I tried to do research. I came all around this building looking in offices. I went to Mr. Reynoso's office. No one had the answer, which was, how many of the teachers that work in the district actually live in the district? You see, I went to a school where the teachers, if they didn't live in the city, they had children that went to my school. So they had a better vested interest on how I was going to learn. So, you know, if you have teachers that are more concerned with their community and building it up because they live in that community, and if the children are getting educated, then they know there's going to be all the problems, then that's an easy solution. Third, the resources that are available to the youth. Libraries, computers, they're very important, very, very important. But having that resource be available even outside of the schools. Businesses where kids want to do the summer jobs, for instance, letting kids be able to go do their essay on a business report at an actual business and use their computer, and having the schools tie in the community. You see, we have businesses, and we have schools, and then we have religious institutions. We have all these different establishments, and there's no one tying them together. They should be, it's a community. Community. You know, that's a key word in it all. Tying them together so that each one, you know, it takes a village to raise a child. You've heard that expression.
Of course.
We're not a village, you know, and we have tons of children who aren't being mentored, who aren't being coached and guided to utilize all of these institutions. And to go to church, you don't necessarily have to be a Christian. Or to go to a mosque, you don't have to be a Muslim. To go to school, you don't have to be a student. But why shouldn't those resources be available to everyone in the community? As far as living on the street, you know, why should someone have to find you? These resources should be available. So as far as in the schools, if we can figure a way to connect and, you know, and unite all these organizations, all of the companies, and everyone together to utilize the resources available in D.C.
All right, well, thank you. I noticed that you said you have an aspiration to run for the council and to be the mayor, and I want to encourage you to do that.
Thank you.
And I got to tell you, after listening to you, I don't want to run against you.